our moon and the meaning of the moon in astrology. And OMG was very interesting for me because um, yesterday I was driving and I follow Larry Reed. Larry Reed is somebody that I follow because we talk about similar things. We think he's an Aquarius. I'm an Aquarius. He was in church. I was in church. So there's a lot of similarities there. But he was having a conversation because there was a video about a pastor who basically was talking against using astrology and saying that using astrology was witchcraft. And I was like, ain't this interesting that we are talking about astrology today, or we just talked about astrology today, and I'm we're getting to this conversation around church people, we'll say religious people, heavy in religion, right? They have a thing against astrology, and Larry was making some points that I was like, this is where this is because when we think about astrology in this space, especially when it comes to coaching, especially when it comes to coaching and making it life applicable, it is not worship. It is a tool. And I want to reiterate that because it is a tool that even even some of our greatest thinkers like Carl Jung in psychology use these tools to help people advance through their life because through the zodiac we get different personality types, and if it's not you to the T, there are a lot of similarities that could link you in that zodiac sign. And then depending on where these other placements are in your chart, gives you more insight as to who you are and how you show up, right? And in this space allows for greater self-awareness, and in being self-aware, you now empower yourself to not only be you and attract the things that you are aligned with, but it affords you the opportunity to allow people to be them. Because when you really get into this work, right? Thank you for the gift. Oh, thank you. When you really get into this work around using astrology as a personal development tool, you realize that the stars, the heavens, how do I want to say this, are legit just playing out in a way to support you in your own healing journey. In your own healing journey. And I thought that was so interesting because in churchdom, we do a lot of talking without a lot of research. And we do a lot of talking without experience. And we take scriptures and we use them out of context, right? We use them out of context and then try to demonize somebody else's practice and make it wrong. And what like I said yesterday, two things can be right at the same time. But this is what I say in this space. You have your way of thinking and maybe astrology doesn't work for you, but astrology in somebody else's camp, in somebody else's hand, is actually their lifeline. Absolutely. People make ideology too technical. They are only teaching what they've been taught. Absolutely. And what I've discovered for me as I have used astrology, I've used astrology to help me navigate my own acceptance of myself. Like, example, having a Pisces moon, I understand why I'm so called into worship. And I'm called into these conversations about God because having a Pisces moon, with the research and with the evidence and with the things that have been explored, attaches you into this spiritual space. You hear me? And then in the 12th house, it's about how that's being displayed out in the world. And so for me, there's such an alignment with this stuff that it propels me to want to stand in, getting on here and doing these lives. Because I understand even more so the call. You ain't hear me. And not just the lives, but how am I aligning my life in a way that is purpose driven? And I'm not just out here going about and doing things. Well, I think I'm gonna try this. I'm thinking I'm gonna try this. When there is a roadmap that you could have to assist you in things that might be coming in for you to learn, to explore, so that you're not just shooting these you're not just shooting in the dark. And when you look at the Bible in itself, it's a spiritual calling. Absolutely. When you look at the Bible in itself, listen, the Pisces moon in the 12th house is a spiritual calling. You hear me? I would say even the Pisces moon in itself. Listen, Pisces, Mercury, listen, all that. But when you look at this stuff, I lost my train of thought. When you look at this stuff, it just lines up. Right? And when you have that's where I was going. When you look at the Bible itself, you see how astrology is used in the Bible because they didn't have clocks. Are we cool? And I'm not trying to beat anybody up. I'm not trying to be fussy. I'm becoming more passionate about the things that we've been taught from a space of don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. That's evil. That's evil. That's evil. But it's not. It doesn't. There's cracks in what you're saying. Listen, valid point. Absolutely. Absolutely. And when you look at the Bible, talking about understanding the seasons and the times, like we have 4 seasons, right? And we know how to transition. We know we need a coat in the winter because of astrology. Oh my goodness. We know that in the summer we can possibly wear shorts because of what? Astrology. Now we just take it deeper when we use the farmers, absolutely. Absolutely. And this is not worship. This is a tool so I can know when to plant. I can know when to get ready for a harvest. I can know when it's probably time for me to do some grounding. I can know these things that are happening based upon my chart and based upon what's happening. I was able to have a conversation. Was it this year or last year? Last year, with an ex, because through my chart, there was discovery that okay, this is, I think it was Venus. Venus was entering something in my chart, and based upon the chart, it was an opportunity for me to have conversation. And this wasn't well, let me call this person. No, somehow this person got a hold of me, and I was able to be like, okay, let's have this conversation. This is all. It's a tool. It's tool. And you know what? And all the glory still goes to God, who created what? The stars. who who the wise men were led to Jesus by the what? Stars. Okay, I feel like I'm becoming fussy, but I think it's my passion that I have because I know that astrology has helped me. It has helped me to be who I am today. All right. So I want to run it back. Let's just go back for those that are catching up. I am recording this for those that are subscribed, so you'll get this, and you'll get this, and I'm working on some other things that I don't want to release just yet, just to support because I feel like in this conversation that we're having, this is a coaching tool, y'all, because there's some things that you might need help navigating, and based upon who you are as an individual, based upon what you may not be aware of, it will support you in how and what you could do to navigate these emotions that you are encountering. Okay? So I love y'all. Let's say a little prayer. So I think Craig is trying to come out. I'm trying to say, Craig, calm down. Calm down, Craig. So let's pray. And we breathe. Abba, Father, Mother, God, by all the names you're known and called. I thank you for this collective work. I thank you for this conversation. I thank you for this healing journey that we get to embark upon. Thank you for your peace, your love, your joy. Thank you for just being here present, ever so present, always present. And we just thank you. We let it be so and so it is. Ashe and amen. The more we understand astrology, the more it resonates with you. Absolutely. Absolutely. So yesterday we did a full breakdown. We did a breakdown of the sun, the ascending, and the moon. And I want to just bring that back into this space. So those that are watching for the first time, if you're new here for the first time, please let me know where you're watching from, because I would love to greet you. Okay? Excuse me. So here we are, fam. Most people know their sun sign, right? Your sun sign is based on when you were born. Hey, welcome. Okay, when you was born. So we got the 12, right? And that could even be uh Anissa and DMV. Caldwell will do. You're not new here, but I'm glad I know your name now, Anissa. I'm gonna work to remember that. But we're looking at our we're looking at our we normally know our sun sign, right? January, February, March, April, May. The list goes. It's 12, right? And here's another thing that's interesting. Hey, Chicago. I would even this is my brain, so bear with me because my brain is legit unpacking so many things. Because when you get to astrology, you start unpacking how it correlates with the Bible. You hear me? You have Jesus, the Son of God, who had how many disciples? How many disciples did Jesus have? I'm just okay. And then you had Israel, and how many tribes? How many tribes? I'm just saying 12, right? So when you start really unpacking this stuff, it correlates with scripture and with the allegory things that are in the Bible. So we have, and then another thing that I was reminded of in breaking down and looking at the sun, and even tying it into what Amy was saying. We're using astrology for our evolution to get us to where we're evolving to. And I heard an astrologer say this, is that the sun is where we're headed. OMG. The sun is where you are headed, because in your sun is what is going to bring you the attention and the abundance. Like, so you are in this movement to become the sun. Woo. Oh my goodness. I feel like I'm preaching. Because as this might, people may not understand this, but Jesus was the Son of God, but so are you. Woo! Oh my! Because God is living through you. Take that in. I that might be a little bit too meaty. So, and I speak that because in my own evolution as an Aquarius and as Aquarius sun, Aquarius is all about humanity. And I understand now that my journey from being a Baptist to being Pentecostal to being Hebrew to going through a divorce through owning my own sexuality is to see humanity. Are y'all following me? So in your own work that you are doing, you are in this evolution to become the sun, to shine. Because the sun is what? Isn't it the brightest star? Maybe I said that wrong. Listen, and when they were being sent out to find Jesus, they were looking for the star. Okay. But just for your personal development, like it doesn't have to be hard, but because of our ignorance, we have made things hard. And so just something to consider, that you are evolving into this sun. Aries, you are evolving into this person that's ambitious, that speaks your truth, that trusts yourself, that knows how to trust your voice above all other voices. Every sign in this personal development has a life goal. I'm just saying. Okay? So with every sign, you lean to the sun, Aries, learn how to trust yourself, learn how to trust your first instinct. Right? Taurus, I would say that's about money, finances, and really gauging how to be in the money, because that's the second house, and how to really live this life in a way that you can teach money, you can produce money, right? Okay, so we won't go through all of them, right? But we'll unpack that one day. Like, what is my journey about in my evolution of self? Okay, I know. I'm looking at myself. Why do I keep? I feel like I don't know why I do this. I think this just. But anywho, so we have the sun, right? And I want to read, get into the book as to what Amy broke down for us yesterday about the sun and the rising and the moon. And let me read this line first to really, and then we'll get into this other line, okay? About astrology first. Astrology best use is not categorizing or classifying. Thank you for the follow. Astrology's best use is not categorizing or classifying, but direction and prescription. Our entire understanding of our chart opens us up when we look at it not from perspective of what we already are, but what we are becoming. Woo! Our entire understanding of our chart opens us up when we look at it not from the perspective of what we are, but what we are becoming. Which is why you can look at a sign, it's like, you don't give off that vibe. But we have this understanding now, you're becoming this. You're becoming this person that is about humanity. You're becoming this person that trusts his instinct. You get into, if you're a Libra, you're becoming this person that can balance, right? If you're a Scorpio, you're becoming this person that's very passionate about life. You're becoming this person as it relates to your sun, right? But then when we get into really breaking everything down, let's navigate and let's talk through this together. Okay? She describes describes this so well, right? If you can imagine yourself as a house with your various astrological parts represented by all the rooms typically found in a house. Oh, Scorpio, come on. Come on. Jai, you are becoming this person that's very passionate about what you do. So passionate that is driving your life. Come on. You're passionate about life. Absolutely. Come on, you're becoming this. Listen, don't that, for me, when I know what I'm becoming, it helps cancel out the ego as to tell me what I'm not. Right? I'm becoming this person. So my evolution is I have to walk through these things so I can become this thing. Which is why manifesting the life that you really want is about becoming a different person. Oh my. I'm becoming this. How do I become, though? I have to learn how to be this person. Oh, I feel like I'm preaching just a little. Okay. But I'm becoming this person. Okay, let's get into it. Okay, I'm getting excited. Y'all cool? Tap the screen, send a gift if this is resonating with you, so I can know you're in the room. Okay? And if you're taking notes, let me know you're taking notes, because this is good. I'm going to run this back, fam. And we're reading from Astrology of the Moon, okay, by Amy Herring. Thank y'all for the like, fam. The more you like and share, the more this information gets out, okay? If you can imagine yourself as a house with your various astrological parts represented by all the rooms typically found in a house, you might imagine your ascendant as the front door and foyer. I would love to see it. Listen, so your ascendant is what people see. Okay, got you. Your money's already right. Come on, we speaking it. It's already right. It's already right. That's the affirmation. My money is right. That's the affirmation I offer. You can accept or reject. I'm not attached to the outcome. But thank you for your consideration. So your ascendant, and people don't know their ascendant, right? Your ascendant is based upon the time of birth. This is why you got to know your exact time of birth, right? Because, and here's another, this is what I love about astrology, because what you're giving to people is really not who you are, especially in the early stages. What you're giving to people, you think that you're giving them this outgoing, that's not what they see. So you're portraying something that to the core of who you are, it doesn't line up. So when you move a little differently, people are kind of taken off guard because they don't really know who you are. Are you following? So ascendant as the front door and foyer, and maybe your son will be the living room or family room. Come on. So you show them one thing, which is your ascendant, but it's not until you let them in your living quarters, your living room, they get to kind of see. Like my best friend, I probably gave him at first like this ambitious drive, and then one point he was like, "Oh, you're an Aquarius. You are in your head. So what are you thinking?" Right? And so those that don't really know me or don't know, Aquarius, we can really be in our head or be over analytical about things and process things very, very slowly because we're in our head about it. But if you didn't know me intimately, if I've never invited you into my home, you wouldn't necessarily know that because that relationship requires that. Absolutely. Can. But because I know that about me, I can take moments to pause and say, get out your head, Titus. Right? So your sun would be the living room or family room. Perhaps Mercury would be your home office, and Venus, the porch swing or the love seat or whatever you might enjoy socializing in a typical home. Because Mercury is about communication. Okay? Venus is about love. Listen, and depending on where these are in your chart, will help you understand how to actually move in that gift, right? So for me, my Venus is in Capricorn, which is in the 10th house, which is about career, being out in the world. So I have to love my work. And it speaks to my partner or whoever they are will probably come into the field of our career paths lining up because it speaks to love. Y'all just see that. So for some of you, your Venus might be in the third house, which is about siblings. So the way that you might be re-energized, could be being around your siblings. Or the fourth house. It could be, if your Venus was in the fourth house, it could be about you falling in love or feeling in love with while being in your home, because fourth is about your home life. Y'all follow? This is why this is important, because the more you know you, the more you can do things that help build and keep you grounded and keep you sane. This is not witchcraft. This is personal development. This is knowing thyself. To know thyself is to be true. And this is what I love. Thank you for the gift. Come on in a little bit. This is what I love. This is where we're going with the moon, because we're talking about the moon. Because as a life coach, as a person that's becoming a licensed professional counselor, what I found is that people don't own what they feel, right? They don't own what they feel, and they don't really know the importance of their feelings. And so there's a lot of work when it comes to counseling and even life coaching that is about assisting and helping with owning and navigating what you feel, which is where the moon comes in. Okay? Because when you go to counseling, when you ask somebody to be your life coach, that is an intimate space. You hear me, family? Which is why you have to trust your life coach. You have to trust your counselor. And I would even say that even the pastorship is an intimate space, because some people go to talk to their pastor before they run to talk to a counselor. Which is why you have to be careful on how you handle people when you're in pastorship or leadership, because you're giving them your moon, which is also connected and being symbolized as your heart. Oh my goodness. Do you see how this is so applicable? I'm just saying. The moon, however, would be your bedroom, or maybe even your bedroom closet. No matter how outgoing we consider ourselves to be, our moon represents the innermost part of us. It is our private selves. Woo. It inherently a vulnerable spot of which we are protective. This is what I said yesterday that I love. We could even call it our inner child. We only tend to reveal this part of ourselves to the people we trust. Just like we might not bring everybody we know into our bedroom. Truth be told, you don't show everybody your whole self. Yeesh. You do not show everybody your whole self. And some of that because you don't know your whole self. And if you were to be shown your whole self, it would scare you because you've been told that's not you. Oh my. I'm gonna read this, and we're just doing a little catching up, okay? And we're reading from Astrology of the Moon, okay? Moon and love. Moon role in love can be argued to be the most important, for the moon represents what we need to feel taken care of, loved, nurtured, and safe. And this is another line. It's important to like who we love, but to love and be loved runs deeper than personality. It goes to our very core. And we're working in this space to get us out of deficit of love because we really don't know love because we've never experienced love in the manner that resonates with us. Woo! We've taken love from people who's giving love based upon what works for them. So we've learned how to settle in love. Thank y'all for the hearts. Thank y'all for the gift. If this resonated with you, share this message because this is only going to get better. Let's say this line, I'm just going through some stuff that I highlighted, and then we're finna get into some new stuff in just a few. Okay. It is the moon, the heart, that knows that the perfect partner cannot be determined through analysis, but through moon work, nurturing each other, building trust with each other, and revealing ourselves to each other. Trust happens when our moon, our inner child, feels safe to come out. The trust is the basis of relationship. Therefore, exploring and trusting the needs of your heart, as represented by the astrological moon, is key to relationship, work, and success. All right? So let's get into it. Mother moon, nurturing ourselves, because a lot of it, let me just read it and we'll unpack it, okay? Because it's not that, yeah, I don't want to repeat myself, okay? I don't want to become redundant. But here we go. Are we good, fam? I got you, Beth. I'm going to give it to you today, okay? That's the goal, to give it to you today. Many astrologers and astrology books discuss the relationship between your moon. Hey. Thank you for, come on, emojis. Hey, fam. Many astrologers and astrology books discuss the relationship between your moon and your mother's effect on your early life. Woo! I'm gonna run that back so you can hear this, because even this has helped me with my relationship with even understanding how I was raised. Come listen, you can't make this stuff up. Many astrologers and astrology books discuss the relationship between your moon and your mother's effect on your early life. In modern times, the role of mother and what mothering represents has been expanded to include father or grandparent or a number of other possibilities. So we can look at the moon as not simply mother, but primary nurturer. Primary nurturer. The person from whom we receive the most direct personal care and guidance. Moon as mother and sun, or sometimes Saturn as father, is a popular astrological association. Yet it can fail to communicate a slight but profound distinction in perspective. If we are looking at your moon and your chart, it's important to remember that the clues your moon placement gives about your primary nurturer are going to be from your perspective and not necessarily an accurate personality description of them as a person. So this is going to be how you perceived your mother or your caregiver. and how that perception is impacting how you're living life. In the context of the idea of moon as mother, we're simply trying to understand what your emotional needs were as a child. Woo, come on. We're trying to understand what your emotional needs were as a child and as an adult for that matter, especially if you feel that you didn't get enough of what you needed. In this way, astrology can help you heal past wounds, come to forgive a parent if need be, and learn how to effectively nurture yourself going forward. Woo! Is this not good? Oh my goodness. Listen. I'm just saying, Beth. This is good stuff. Okay. Let me read this first paragraph about the labor of love, because the moon also helps you in your career, right? Many of us have heard the phrase interest equals aptitude. Interest certainly doesn't create skills that a person wouldn't possess otherwise. Imagine a faux doctor operating on a patient because he thinks those cable surgery shows are interesting. But your interest can relate to your level of success in your pursuits. Have you ever sat at your desk at work and thought you might not be able to bear coming in one more day? Oh my. Ever woken in the morning and being disappointed that it was Monday? You're not alone, of course. We don't love the work we have to do all the time. But if we feel passionate about the reason for our work and we feel that it matters, then we are likely to be happier more of the time. We can increase our ability to succeed at the work we do because we are motivated to do all we can, rather than just the bare minimum. Even if your moon doesn't fall in a place in your natal chart that is typically associated with career, engaging in work on a daily basis that drains your heart rather than feeds it is going to show up in your life. So essentially, the moon placed on your chart helps you get into the emotion of what work should feel like in order for you to have the greatest impact. Are you feeling me? And this is something else that I highlighted when it comes to the moon. When it comes down to this question, the question is, what do I want? That's the real question. And that's a question for your moon. So when we get into looking at your chart and we go into the moon, we get into your emotions and what that looks like and what it should feel like when it's in alignment. Ooh. I'm trying to figure out where we're going, okay? Okay. And we'll probably start getting into the signs and stuff on Monday. So let's read a little bit. I'm gonna read this paragraph and I'm gonna read this line. Okay. Our natal moon can give us clues about what circumstances and state of being describes our comfort zone. When we are out of our comfort zone, we may experience a range of emotions from anxiety to frustration to sadness. The moon's position in our natal chart is a key factor in understanding what we need to feel safe. Not just in a physical sense, but in an overall sense. When our basic needs of comfort and safety are met, such as feeling like we have a place to go, feeling like we have a place to go home to, or we're not being asked to do anything we don't want to do, We are obviously more likely to be happy, but we are also able to go about our lives and function in a normal way. Oh, thank you, Lance. Appreciate it. We are also able to go about our lives and function in a normal way, and less likely to suffer from depression, apathy, and despair. Again, this is about knowing yourself, about tapping into your intuition, and about you going through life in a way that you're not prisoner to your circumstances. And for me, this tool is so important. Thank you for the rose lens. So important. Here we go. Understanding your emotional needs is more than just self-indulgence. It is also critical to understanding your reactions. Ooh. It is also critical to understanding your reactions to various situations and people, and knowing how to steer yourself out of emotional windstorms before they become hurricanes. Oh my. You see the benefit in this. And some people have emotional things going on and you don't know how to progress through it because you don't know yourself. I'm just reading what the book say. I'm gonna read it again because it's the truth. This is why I had to go see Bay. Listen, because of my moon being in Pisces, and I would say this is for all the water signs. You have Cancer, Scorpio. You have Cancer, you have Scorpio, and you have Pisces. Right? Having this sign and moon emotionally, when you know where your moon is and you're trying to work through your emotions, I would say it's good to go by water. I was listening to somebody yesterday and they just confirmed what I'd already started to do a practice of, is once a month go buy some water. Go buy some water. If you know you have a Pisces moon, get by some water. Because that's going to help you ground. Because that Pisces energy is water. Water is related to emotions. Or take a shower. You know, I would even say if you want to wash your hands and say a little prayer, just to keep yourself in a place of not becoming the hurricane. Here we go. Understanding your emotional needs is more than just self-indulgence. I love that. Understanding your emotional needs is more than just self-indulgence. It is also critical to understanding your reactions to various situations and people, and knowing how to steer yourself out of emotional windstorms before they become hurricanes. Because listen, me understanding, I'm telling you from my experience, me understanding, first of all, that I'm an Aquarius, so I can be in my head, right? But then when I'm emotional, I can be in my head about my emotions. So I've had to learn how to own what I feel, but not think too long about it. Oh my. Because me thinking too long about it has oftentimes prevented me from having conversations with the people I needed to have conversations with. Ooh, thank you for the gift. So when you understand, yeah, it's not overthink, just feeling them. Absolutely. When you understand how you are innately, you're able to move forward. Because not knowing, you get frustrated with how you're showing up. And I'm not saying it's going to alleviate the frustration, but it helps the frustration when you know, okay, this is how I'm made, right? I understand that I can be emotional. I understand that. So I'm not offended when people say I'm wearing my heart on my sleeves or I'm moving too fast. Because I have no awareness. Oh, yeah, I know that about me. I'm working on that. Owning yourself and all of it, but it helps because you have a roadmap. You have a roadmap to evolving. And if you know it about yourself, you can navigate the changes. Oh, Katie. Absolute ego can get in the way. For sure. Woo. Okay. How we doing, fam? Thank you for the follow. We doing good? What are your takeaways so far? Because this is so good. Some soul searching. Yes, this is like a manual to self-understanding. Absolutely. 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 Okay, here we go. Let me read this, and we got about 8 more minutes. Okay, and if this is resonating with you, I appreciate the gifts, the donations, and the shares. And the donation information is in my bio. If this hit home or something resonated, I welcome donation. It adds and support. That's how you show your gratitude to this channel. I appreciate you. The natal moon's position and condition in our natal chart tells us much about the things and situations we need to feel nurtured, above and beyond the needs that we all have as human beings. But we are all caught between two emotional camps, the need to feel safe and the need to feel happy. Sometimes, quite often, in fact, the two camps can be satisfied by the same activities. Thank you, Sade. Such as employment at a job that brings in stable income and that we also happen to enjoy doing. But there are plenty of situations we get ourselves into that only serve one camp. OMG. If not immediately, then through deterioration as we find our needs expanding and growing beyond the routines we've established. There's a difference between an emotional home and an emotional cul-de-sac. We are charged with the challenge of knowing when enough is enough, when our source of security keeps us safe, but not happy. Ain't that a line? Our hearts want both. Come on, and do. Our hearts want both. And it takes emotional courage to go after situations that have the potential to give us both, especially when we might have to leave an otherwise stable but emotionally draining situation to do so. Woo! And this is what I highlighted because this right here. Change and risk can make us fearful, and forfeiting a sense of security can make us unhappy. But if we reach for something we long for, something we truly want, that unhappiness is likely to be temporary. If we choose security alone and forfeit what we long for, lifelong unhappiness is more likely. Listen! Whining is truly an uncomfortable process in every aspect of life. Come on, Jai, talk to us. Absolutely. I'm going to run that back. Change and risk can make us fearful. Absolutely, Sade. Change and risk can make us fearful, and forfeiting a sense of security can make us unhappy. But if we reach for something we long for, something we truly want, that unhappiness is likely to be temporary. If we choose security alone and forfeit what we long for, lifelong unhappiness is more unlikely. Woo! Fam. Oh my goodness. Okay. Sounds like don't settle. Absolutely. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like don't settle, right? But often we've been taught get what you can get. And we then now condition, we get into that space and we get what we get. And we become so uncomfortable. But I ain't gonna say uncomfortable. We become so, what is the word I want to use? We become so complacent. And the word that was coming to mind, we become, what is it when you don't feel anything? We become that. We become numb. Yes. Desensitized. Absolutely. We become desensitized with life because we've been conditioned to settle. Oh my. And what we are offering, because you can like this live, don't like the live, whatever it is. I prefer you like it and share it. But anywho, we become so conditioned to doing things that don't bring us happiness when it's legit unaliving our heart. And we are in this space as Aquarius is moving. It's already back direct, but if you knew this, you would be okay with all the things that are happening. Right? It's calling for thank you, Jilly Dilly. It's calling for your heart, for you to lead in a way where your heart and your mind are both in alignment. Not just doing this thing, okay, this is what's going to pay the bills, this is what I got to do, but is your heart in it? And if it's going to pay the bills and that's what you got to do, how can your heart be in what you're doing? And how do you, what is it that your heart is calling for so that you can create more energy around love? I want to offer this prayer to those that are in this space. This is something that I've been working with that I want to offer to you. Okay? This is something I've been working with that I will, let me see. I want to offer this to you. And it's from one of my prayer books. Sorry, I'm looking for it, fam. And this is called Love Prosperity Prayer. Okay? Are we ready, fam? Let's take a breath because this is good stuff. Okay? Love is my financial advisor. My prosperity is unlimited. Love fills my life with abundant good. Love is my golden key to infinite riches. Love guides me in its way of joy, peace, and prosperity because of its nature. Even though I may wander into seeming lack, I shall not fear, for love is always with me. Its nurturing substance prospers me. Love abundantly provides for me to easily pay all financial obligations. Love fills my life and my bank accounts with unconditional money. My wealth overflows. Thankfully, love prospers me in every wonderful way, every day of my life, and I forever do business in the nature of love. Amen, Ashe, and so it is. Listen, that's the sauce right there. So as we go on this journey, fam, you know, we're getting into these placements, and we'll get to everybody's eventually. We're going to start with Aries, because Aries essentially, thank you, Chrissy, for coming on. Aries essentially starts off the zodiac. Okay, so we'll get into Aries. We might start that on Monday. I will let you guys know if I hop on tomorrow. Just kind of praying about if I need to go take care of some other stuff. So I will keep y'all posted. But I hope you guys are enjoying this journey. If you are subscribed, this will be added to the link so you can go back and rewatch. So I hope you guys have the most amazing day. And next week we will probably I'll keep y'all posted, okay? I want to give y'all get y'all insight about subscribers, if we should keep this open for those that might need it. But have a great day. Love y'all, and we'll talk to y'all later. Love y'all.